Hey guys, I wanted to make what is hopefully going to be a short video, which I don't know, it's kind of hard for me to do that, but I'm going to try. So I had to make a promotional photo for, I'm a musician, I'm a drummer, and I've been doing this project and our first gig's coming up, and I had to get a promotional shot to the promoter, and I had to get it done quickly. So in my mind I had this idea of making it really dark and, you know, shadowy and dramatic. So, I started out with one light. This is a strip bank. It was a narrow beam of light coming across. So I'm not going to bore you with all the photos. After about, I guess, 15 frames, we got this. And it's not bad. You know, it's basically what I was looking for. I mean, this is the setup. This is the room we shot in. And you can see it's very bright. I'm going to have a skylight here. So my camera was stopped down pretty far. I was at f16, 1/25th of a second. And this strip bank is connected to an Einstein 640, which is at half power. Now, an Einstein 640 at half power is really bright. So, I mean, you might be thinking, why didn't I use a speed light? Well, I could have, but putting this in front of a speed light, I'm going to lose a stop and a half of output, and a speed light just isn't bright. I would have had to raise my ISO way up, probably around 800, to get something similar. Anyway, so I used an Einstein, and like I said, this is the photo that we got, and it's okay, but I noticed that the back of Tim, the guitar player's head, was going in the shadow, and so is my bald head to a degree, and our shoulders are going in the shadow. Now, I'm not saying that's bad. It was kind of cool, but I thought, why don't I try to put a rim light on to sort of help define the shadow? I mean, the shoulder and the hair on Tim, because I don't have any, and my bald head. So back here, I set up a speed light. And, I did a couple experimenting. Here's the first shot. It was too bright. I think I had it set at quarter power. So I stopped it down to 1/32 power, which would be 1/8, 1/16. 2 stops down. Wait, 1/4, 1/8 is 1 stop. 1/8 to 1/16, 2 stops. 3 stops down. 3 stops down. And got the final image, which obviously, as you can see, I converted to black and white. So the whole process took maybe half an hour. Oh, one more thing I wanted to show you guys. So you might be wondering, how could I be in the photo and take the photo? Well, I mean, obviously I have my camera on a tripod, and the reason I'm looking around is, oh, here it is. Now, I could have set my camera on a 10-second timer, hit the shutter, run back here. But, like I've tried that before, you're basically a slave to the 10 seconds, and I wanted to get in position and all that stuff. Anyway, so Yongnuo makes these flash triggers, so it has a dual function. It can operate as a flash trigger. You put one on the hot shoe of your camera, another one, the flash goes on this hot shoe, and then it acts like any other radio trigger. It'll trigger an off-camera flash. Or, which is the way I use it, I hook this wire up to one of these. These are transceivers. They act as either a transmitter or a receiver. I hooked this wire up from the transceiver to the remote shutter port on my Canon 5D Mark II, and this one now becomes a remote shutter release. So I had this in my hand while I was in the shot, and that worked out really well. So, this was kind of cool. It saved a lot of time. It's not expensive. These triggers are, I believe, $30 or somewhere around there. So that's how I was able to do it. I mean, again, like technically speaking, I was at ISO 200. Even with this being a very strong light, I still had to raise up my ISO from 50 to 200. 1/25th of a second, that's kind of irrelevant when you're dealing with lighting with nothing but flash. But I guess the thing I wanted to point out here is, again, this room is really bright, but again, looking at the photograph, everything went really dark. So this light was the only light that was influencing the shot. My camera was stopped down to f/16, so basically if I had taken the shot without these two flashes actually, it would have been a black frame. So the only light was coming across here and then a little bit of light back there. So the drum set, I mean, you can barely see it over here because I was sitting like this and Tim was sitting on this stool here. And that's it. It was a simple setup. Worked out pretty well given the fact that we were under the gun. I had to get the photo off to the promoter right after the shoot. Didn't have time to like do a lot of post-processing or whatever. So I did some in Lightroom, converted to black and white, bumped up the contrast, and that was pretty much it. I'm basically just making this video to give you some insight as to, number one, how easy it can be, just really one light source, and then I added a second one as an afterthought. And number two, you know, how you can remotely trigger the shutter on your camera with this thing. So, okay, so I guess that's it. You can visit my website, meetyourcamera.com. And that's it for now. So go make a photograph. That's my new tagline, by the way. Go make a photograph.